Okay, so now that you've determined which ligature you have, I forgot to go ahead and put your cap back on your cork grease if you haven't already done that, and we'll put that aside. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start with this type of ligature because it's the easiest one to do. And actually, I will say this. All ligatures, no matter what the design is, okay, it's meant to be tightened with your right hand. All ligatures, even the ones that like the cheapy $5 ones to the more expensive, $25 ones to these black ones. Okay, they all will tighten with your right hand. Now your right hand, if you make L's, if you look down, it's the one that does not make the L. Okay, that's your right hand. So if you're starting to play, we start doing this, and you're screwing the screw with your left hand, the one that makes the L, you're doing it wrong, and it's upside down. Okay, so that's something you got to remember. Now, to get this started, I'm going to start with this black one, and then as we go through, I'll go through all of them. Okay, but this is pretty simple. You take the ligature and you place it on top, right? For some of you guys, if this is the first time and it's a brand new ligature, this will be screwed in all the way. And so all you have to do is just open it up just slightly, just a little bit, not all the way. There's always somebody who just kind of keeps going and they're like, miss, it just fell off. Okay, but just a little, like give it like maybe 7 or 8 turns, and then that should be wide enough for it to fit around your mouthpiece. But you want it to kind of go on like that. Okay, pass the line that goes all the way around your mouthpiece. There's a line right here that goes all the way around your mouthpiece, and you want to make sure that this goes below it before we start. Okay, so there's that one. And again, if you look at it, okay, I'm going to pretend that I'm you, but if I'm screwing it in, if I'm looking at this and I'm screwing it in to make it tighter, I'm using my right hand to do it. Okay, if it was the other way, like that, then I'm actually going to be using my left hand to screw it together, and that's not correct. So on these black ones, okay, the part that you tighten and stuff goes on the back of the mouthpiece so that you can use your right hand to tighten the screw. Okay, now I'm also going to do these cheap $5 ones, right? The one without the bracket here in the middle. And so these are different, okay? And same thing, if you're borrowing one from the school, or if you rented one, chances are sometimes the screws are completely together like this. All you have to do is loosen both screws and get it to come apart just a little bit like that. And then that should fit on your mouthpiece. Now the difference between these and this black one is that on this one, the screw will go in front like that. So you got the hole in the mouthpiece, and then the screws are right there, right? Just like that. Okay, so as long as it's underneath the line that goes all the way around the mouthpiece, you're good to go. Now the last one, and again, I wish that I actually had one, but I actually don't. I don't have this ligature, but it'll look like this, and it'll have a piece that goes here. Okay, if it has a piece right here that says BCL on it, or BBCL, okay, when you place it on there, right, the screw or screws, you're going to have 2 screws. I have one on mine, right, but mine's a fancy one, right? But anyways, there'll be 2 screws, and they go on the back of the mouthpiece so that your right hand can tighten the screw. Got it? And again, it has to just be underneath that line, and then we'll be good to go. So here will be the plate that says, or the metal piece that says I think it's BBCL or Big BCL. I can't remember exactly what it says, but it'll say that right here. Okay? All right, so now that we got that, I'm going to go ahead and keep this one on, because for the most part, everybody, I could have sworn, if you're using a school-owned instrument, they're going to be using something similar to this one with the plate right here. Okay, so I'm going to just use that. We're going to take reed number 2, because last time we were together we used reed number 1. So take reed number 2. We are not going to put this in our mouth because we are going to play at the end. Okay, so we're going to take this reed here, and actually, you know what? I'm going to pause the video right here. And well, you should pause the video right here and make sure that you have this set up. Okay, so before we actually go on to the reed part of this, I want to make sure you guys know how to manipulate this. So I can do it with one hand. I can actually lift this ligature forward and back down. I can do that with one hand. If you can figure out how to do that, that'd be awesome if you're that coordinated. But if not, what you're going to want to do is you're going to lift this up with one hand and hold it in place with the other hand. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm creating a pocket between the mouthpiece and the ligature so that I can slide my reed in. Okay, go ahead and take like about 30 seconds and just figure out how to move that back up and down, either one hand or two hand, or I'm sorry, that was two-handed, or you can try it with just one hand, just like that. So before we begin, I wanted to make a very quick note here. I'm going to be showing you guys how to put this on with the hole of the mouthpiece actually facing you, okay? But for you, you're going to have this hole here, the hole in the mouthpiece, actually facing you. So when you put this together, you'll be actually looking at the hole that's in the ligature, and the screws for your ligature, at the hole that is in the mouthpiece, and the screw that's on the ligature will be the one that will be on the right hand side. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so now that you've got that this figured out, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to grab reed number 2, like I said before. So we grab reed number 2, and again, we don't have to worry about wetting it because we're not going to play this first time. When we get through this first step, we will probably get a chance to play. But what you're going to do is you're going to move your ligature up so that you create a pocket between your mouthpiece and your ligature. Okay, we're going to take this reed here. This is the flat side, the bottom side. This is the side that has the writing on it, and then the other side has no writing on it. This is the top side. This is the bottom side. The bottom side of the reed, please listen very carefully. The bottom side of the reed goes against the mouthpiece. Now, remember that. Bottom side of the reed goes against the mouthpiece. In addition, the reed does not go in the hole. It goes on the mouthpiece, on this flat part of the mouthpiece here. No matter how many times I explain this, someone always tries to do this. They stick it up like this with the writing facing up, and they try to shove it in the hole, right? This is what I just told you. Doesn't need to be happening. You can laugh, but it happens every year. So what you want to do is you want to put the flat side of the reed, okay, in between the ligature and the mouthpiece, not in the hole. You're going to slide it through. Watch for a second. Don't do. Watch. You're going to slide it down, okay, and you see what I'm doing is I'm sliding down between the mouthpiece and the ligature and keeping it on the mouthpiece itself, okay? So once you have that, right, and you've got it flat on the outside and it looks like that with the writing on the other side, the writing's touching your mouthpiece, then what you're going to do is you're going to pull your ligature down, okay? Don't worry about lining it up and making pretty and all that stuff. We're just going to do that first. Now, here's the thing. We slid with the butt end down, right, not the tip. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and practice doing that. Okay, so now that you've got your reed between the mouthpiece and the ligature, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to line it up. Do not touch the tip of your reed. If you touch a tip, you'll probably break it. That's $3 straight to the trash, okay? To adjust it, we're going to be making all of our adjustments down here in the butt and on what we call the rails, the side rails. Okay, notice you can manipulate this reed completely by just touching down here and on the sides. So what I'm looking for, right, is the tip of the reed should match up with the tip of the mouthpiece, just like that. Okay, and I'm adjusting it by doing this. So if this is how it looked, you see how there's a big giant gaping hole between the reed and the mouthpiece? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to push up like this. Watch. Do not do. Watch. Okay, so I push it up like that. And then I'm going to make sure that it lines up side to side with the mouthpiece. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. All right, and it's straight up and down. So this is not straight up and down. Do you guys see that? It's not straight. And then this is not straight up and down. But I get somebody every year who goes, "Miss, you mean like this?" No, that's not right. Okay? So make that even. Do not touch the tip. Okay, and when it's even, hold it in place with your finger, like I am here. Go and pause the video until you get yours to look like this, right? The tip of the reed should match the tip of the mouthpiece without you touching the top, and then the sides should be straight up and down with the mouthpiece. Okay, and now the last thing we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making sure that our ligature is lined up. Earlier, I just made sure that you put it underneath this line. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hold our reed here, right next to the, like right underneath the heart. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide this ligature until that line, right, I'm sorry, this edge of our ligature is even with that line that goes all the way around the mouthpiece. So I don't know if you guys can see. It's a very, very faint line that goes all the way around my... No, that's a better shot of that. And I'm just going to line that up. Okay? Now, when it looks like that, obviously, if you're doing this, it looks like this for you. Okay? But when you get that and it's lined up, then you just tighten your screw. I am interrupting my video to make a very quick note. When you tighten this ligature, you don't have to tighten it until the two pieces meet, okay? Like this, notice how much space there is between there. That's it, right? All you have to do is just put it on there and screw it on there until it's tight enough that it doesn't want to fall off. So I always think of it like a baby's diaper, right? If you put the diaper on the baby too tight, it's going to get really cranky and it's going to cry all the time and be all whiny and it's not going to be happy, right? But if you put it on too loose, then the diaper's going to fall off and your baby's just going to end up, well, poop's going to end up everywhere. But if I do my clarinet reed and I do it correctly, even with these black ones, when I finish, that's it. You see all the space that's in between there? Don't just keep tightening it, trying to get the two pieces together. Same thing goes with if you have one of these cheaper, like the ligature that doesn't quite tighten, that the screws go on this side because it's one of the cheapy ones. If I do this right, like let me just finish tightening that. Look at how much space is there, okay? This is correct. You only want the ligature on there as tight as it needs to be to not fall off. You don't want it any tighter than that, okay? So if you're going and all of a sudden it just kind of falls off, then that's, that means tighten it just a little bit more, okay? Let's go back to the other video. Okay, and that's what it should, oops. Sorry about that. That's what it should look like, just like that. Okay, pause the video and try that.